My name is Mwenda. I'm the CEO of the Kenya National Farmers Federation, KENAFF. KENAFF is the apex umbrella farmers organization in the country. It's a very old organization, having started in 1946 as the Kenya National Farmers Union, KNFU. The name has changed. The mandate remains the same. It's lobby and advocacy to represent, articulate, promote, and protect the interests of farmers in this country. As we speak, November 17, 2022, KENAFF has a membership of about 1.6 million, spread over 43 counties. We do not have members in Nairobi, Mombasa, Lamu, and Wajir counties, but we have membership and leadership in all the 43 counties. Ours is to represent the interests of farmers, protect farmers' welfare, engage with the government, both at the national and the county levels, to look at issues that are of interest to farmers. And of course, this being a farming country where our economy is highly dependent on the agricultural sector, farmers are very key in how Kenya transforms, both socially and economically. I think this is a good time to talk about farmers because we all know as Kenyans that the past 3-4 years have been very rough in a lot of areas in this country because of the ongoing drought. We have Kenyans who are starving. We have a lot of families who cannot sustain their livelihoods. We have livestock farmers who have lost their stock in Kajiado and Baringo, parts of Meru, Kilifi, and many other counties across the country. As this continues, obviously, we also know that the rains in the recent past have started, and this is something that we should all be very grateful about. But then ask ourselves, how do we deal with these things? Because they keep recurring, not every 4 or 5 years like it used to happen, but almost every other year. Obviously, here we are talking about climate change, and I think this is a discussion that we need to have as a country. And because climate change is here with us, it's not going away. It's going to affect the way we live, the way we produce food, and the way we basically sustain our livelihoods as a country. So, as the farmers of this country, we ask ourselves, what can we do as far as climate action is concerned? And we realize that one way, a low-hanging fruit, is farm forestry. So since 2021, KENAFF has been mobilizing our membership to build capacities for them to understand the essence of planting trees and taking care of trees, because a lot of times people talk about tree planting, but what really should count is taking care of trees so that they mature and be of use to farmers. We all know that trees have environmental benefits, they have economic benefits, and they have social benefits. These are the lessons that we are teaching our farmers so that they understand that planting trees has an economic benefit, and it is important that once you plant a tree, you should take care of it until you derive those economic benefits. We do have a formula in the way we are training our members to plant trees. We are telling them that they should plant trees that are specific to their areas, so that if you are in Kiambu, in Dogoto, Kiambu County, plant trees. 50% of the trees that you plant should be indigenous to Dogoto, Kiambu County. That way, even if the weather maybe is not so favorable, those trees will do well, or the establishment rate will be higher. We are also advising our members and farmers in general to plant 30% fruit and fodder trees. Fodder because, of course, livestock, cows, goats, and other stock that we keep. And then fruits because of food and nutrition imperatives at the household level and also for the market. Then 20% is fast maturing trees because we know a lot of farmers depend on fuel wood as a source of energy, but also for construction at home and even for selling as timber. And in this case, we are mostly promoting Brevelia as the fast maturing tree. Let me note that we are not promoting the planting of eucalyptus. So that is how we have, configured what we are calling the KENAFF Farm Forestry and Afforestation Program. It's a 10-year program from 2021 to 2030. And in this, we hope to, in these 10 years, we hope to mobilize all the farmers in this country, and indeed other stakeholders, including the national government, ministries, departments, schools, correctional facilities, road authorities like Kenya National Highway Authority, Kenya Urban Rural Roads Authority, and all other road authorities to plant about 10 billion trees. We do know that the President, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, has talked about 5 billion trees, and we do believe that we should partner with the government at all levels to support the government not only realize this goal of 5 billion trees, but also work with all farmers in this country to realize the goal of 10 billion trees that KENAFF has set for itself. We do believe that, of course, as we plant these trees, we'll be tackling other issues to do with biodiversity conservation, because we also know biodiversity loss is a serious problem that we are also confronting as a result of climate change. And we do know that biodiversity loss leads to a lot of economic losses. It leads to, a downgrading of the quality of life. So we do believe, of course, as we train our members and farmers in general on how to plant trees, we'll also be talking about issues to do with biodiversity conservation, issues to do with green energy, particularly biogas. We are working with dairy farmers in about 12 counties, setting up biogas plants in their homes so that they can use biogas energy instead of cutting down trees, or maybe using other non-renewable sources of energy. We'll also be talking about solar energy, because this is also an energy source that a lot of people are not aware of, that is cheap, that can be, the technology has become considerably, the cost of acquiring these technologies has come down considerably, and we like farmers and Kenyans in general to also adopt solar energy. We'll also be talking about related industries like apiculture and agritourism, what we call at KENAFF kilimo utalii, because these are all things that have to do with trees and forests in the context of the KENAFF Farm Forestry and Afforestation program that we are talking about. Then, obviously, we do know that we have a new government, the Kenya Kwanza government, which made very firm promises to farmers. Of course, we are very excited that the President, His Excellency William Ruto, has agriculture very close in his heart. We, of course, know the Kenya Kwanza manifesto had specific issues that they addressed that would be of help to farmers. For instance, they talked about spending 250 billion Kenya shillings over the next 5 years to lift 5 million farmers out of poverty. Obviously, this is something that we are looking forward to the Kenya Kwanza meeting over the next 5 years. And KENAFF will be ready to work with the government to realize this goal. We've heard the President during Mashujaa Day talk about increasing the land under irrigation in this country. Obviously, this is something that we are very excited about, because most farmers in this country are dependent on rain-fed agriculture. And as we've seen, the droughts are becoming more frequent. So irrigation is going to be a key strategy to enhancing the transformation and growth of the agricultural sector in this country. So the government, by saying that they are going to increase land under irrigation, obviously this is something we support, and we'll continue reminding the government that this is one of the ways in which we can transform agriculture in this country. Of course, the government has also talked about livestock insurance. Like I have said, a lot of farmers, pastoralists in particular, have lost their livestock as a result of the drought. So if the government is going maybe to start an insurance guarantee scheme for livestock producers in this country, this is also going to really help the farmers of this country. We've seen the Kenya Kwanza government also talk about subsidies for farm inputs, particularly fertilizers, which we all know that a lot of farmers this year for the 2022 March planting season, a lot of farmers did not use fertilizer because fertilizer prices rose by more than 200%. We've seen His Excellency President Ruto talk about subsidizing fertilizer for farmers. We know this has already happened, but we do have some challenges. We've fielded complaints from some farmers who are saying that the fertilizer is not readily available. The process to acquire this fertilizer is not easy. They have to go to the chief. They have to travel long distances to ascend the National Cereals and Produce Board. And we are here to tell the government that KENAFF is ready to support in the rollout of these inputs. We do know where the farmers are. We have a huge database, even if we just talk about the 1.6 million members that we do have, and we can advise, we can support the government in ensuring that the last mile, that distance between the farm and the fertilizer is reduced. And we can do this because our structure starts at the ward level, goes to the sub-county level, it goes to the county level. And it is in our interest that farmers, the real farmers, actually get these fertilizers and other inputs that the government may be able to support farmers with. So these are some of the issues that will be working, of course, to support the government on, but also to hold the government to account, because these are promises that they are made to the farmers of this country. In CAMP 2027, through what we are calling the KENAFF Farmers Manifesto, we are going to develop a scorecard at the national level and tell the Kenya Kwanza government, this is what you promised, this is what you delivered. We're also going to have county-specific scorecards looking at the governors and what they promised the farmers of this country. We are going to have scorecards for members of parliament, for senators, so that by the time we go to the other election cycle, farmers who constitute the majority of the population of this country can look at the scorecards and say, yes, this was done, and if it was not done, they'll be able to question the people who made the promises. Thank you very much.